what the counsel is. I'm gonna put guns in the neighborhood so Crips and Bloods in the 80s can start killing each other at an alarming rate. Right? I'm about to introduce crack to New York to create a crack pandemic. That's counsel. I'm going to put a corner store and a liquor store in every corner in the black neighborhood so these niggas can get cheap cigarettes, cheap beer, stay drunk and stay dead in the mind. Right. As long as these Negroes don't know who they are and they stay drugged up and dumb, I'm gonna give them a poor education system. As long as they dumb and drugged up, they are no
enemy, adversary.
They are no threat to us.
Play the fool, man, and went astray. What can I say? All I do is pray, keep it on me. Came in the truth by myself, I ain't got no homies. Free and checking on the cool, man, I keep them on me. Prove a friend, hidden sin, he can be.
Now you said that when you see our people, we look like we at the bottom of society, right? Now we just read that if we don't keep God's commandments, what's gonna happen to our people? We're gonna be cursed. Now, based on what you know about God's commandments, do we keep them as people?
No.
We don't. Right? Give me some examples of laws that you know our people don't keep.
We murder each other.
One.
We lie.
We lie.
We struggle with lust.
We lust.
Temptate yourself there.
All the temptation.
Yeah. All of that. All of that is absolutely right. We steal. Right? We commit adultery. Right? Our people eat pork, shrimp, crab. They eating pork across the street right now. You know what I'm saying? Our people eat unclean foods, right? They don't keep the Sabbath day holy, which today is.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? All of it. So you are aware that our people are not keeping God's commandments.
Bring it out.
This is where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? Read verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Now stop. Remember, who is Moses talking to right now? He's talking to the Israelites, right? So we about to prove who them people is. You already said us, so let's prove it. He's talking to the Israelites. Read that again.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
He said, if you're not keeping the commandments, cursed shalt thou be in the city. Where are our people at in these cities? It don't matter where you go. I drive trucks, but I done been in almost every city that you can think of. Everywhere we go, from Houston, Texas, to Orlando, Florida, to Virginia, to Los Angeles, to New York, our people are right there in the hoods, bro.
Right.
Everywhere we go, we are in the hoods. We in places like Third Ward all around the country. You know what I'm saying? All around the world, our people are at the bottom. You have bear witness that our people don't keep the commandments. This scripture says if we don't keep the commandments, cursed shalt thou be in the city. Who is that pointing to? Because the so-called white man, they're not cursed in the city. They live in the best parts of the cities. Right? The so-called Chinese man, they have their own communities. The so-called Arab man, they have their own communities.
Right.
Our communities are run down. That sound like it's pointing more toward our direction. Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
It says, cursed shalt thou be in the field. Where do you see the white man, the Chinese man, the Arab man being cursed in the field? We are known as being cotton pickers. You understand what I'm saying? We was the one that was picking the tobacco. We was the ones that was pulling the sugar canes. It was us. This is what we are known for. You know what I'm saying? Cotton picking niggas. That's what we've been known for. It is a testimony to our history. This is a testament to our history. This is showing you us who we are according to the Bible. Right. You understand? Because why? We struggled in our cities. Right? We were those slaves in the field.
Bring it out.
Right?
Verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
It says he's going to smite us with madness, read.
And blindness and astonishment of heart.
He said that he was going to smite us with an astonishment of heart. You know what it means to be an astonishment?
Yes.
Explain to elaborate, Tony.
To be astonished, to be
overwhelmed.
It's almost like being astonished, like, what's wrong? Yeah, it's unbelievable. Bro, we are the only people. How old you is, bro? We the same age, right? I don't know where your background, but where I come from, when you got people that's willing to do stupid stuff, we call them crash dummies, right? Nowadays, you got these young kids growing up talking about, bro, I'm about to crash out. That's an astonishment. Somebody who's saying that I'm about to crash out is a person that is willing to give up their life or their entire future behind a temporary emotion.
Right.
That is an astonishment. It is an astonishment that you got Megan Thee Stallion twerking in front of the world at a Democratic convention.
Right.
Like I said, not that politics matter to us because we stand on the Bible, but just the thought of that, the way that these other nations look at our people, it's an astonishment. We are the astonishment. We are the laughing stock. All we got, Kamala Harris did what? She threw on the barbecue and she had Megan Thee Stallion shaking her behind.
Right.
That's gonna get these niggas to vote. That is an astonishment. That shows you the state of mind that the world believes that we are in.
She walked out to a marching band.
Say it again.
She walked out to a HBCU marching band.
Come on. That's all we about is music and food. That is what they say. That's an astonishment. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot trick any other nation of people with that type of foolishness.
Right.
But our people, you can. He said that. Read that verse again.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
Hey, my sister, right now what we're going over is we showing our brother Tony who we are according to the Bible, and we're proving it. All right, read.
With madness.
He's with madness. Read.
And blindness.
With blind. What is that blindness? What is that blindness? Hold that. Give me Psalms 83. That blindness is us not knowing who we are according to the Bible. Hold that too. Give me Jeremiah 17:4. It's a process in which this had happened. Read that.
Look at Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4.
Read.
And thou, even thyself,
It says, thou even thyself, read,
shall discontinue from thine heritage.
The Lord said that we were going to discontinue from our heritage. Now, let's take a step back to what we just read. It says, if thou would not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God to keep my commandments, all these curses are going to come upon you. One of the curses that we read was that we were going to have blindness. It's not that we can't see, it's that we don't know. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know. He just read that. Read that again.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
That's why we call ourselves black.
Right.
You got these people call themselves Irish, they call themselves Chinese, they know their lineage, they know their blood. We call ourselves black though, right? We call ourselves African American, right? That's the name of two white people. Right. You know, Scipio Africanus was a general who conquered the northern part of Africa. Amerigo Vespucci, that's where America come from. It was was it Portuguese or Italian?
Italian.
He was an Italian explorer who came to this side of the world and discovered the North American landmass. You know what I'm saying? And we name ourselves after these two people. Who are we truly? We don't know because we've been struck with blindness because of our sins that you have bear witness that you see that our people don't keep. You understand what I'm saying? So the Bible said that we were going to lose our heritage, right? Now, in today's society, how is this being perpetuated? How are we still ignorant of us not knowing who our people? How are we still ignorant of our identity? Is my point. Now, drop that. Go to Psalms 83. This is how, because we in slavery we couldn't read for about 350 years, right? Or 250 years. We've been able to read for the past about 150 and so. Why is it that we still don't know that we're the children of Israel? Read that, son.
Book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God.
So this is King David. He's addressing God, right? Read.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies, thine enemies,
the enemies of God, read,
make a tumult, and they that have hate thee have lifted up their head.
These enemies of God have pride against God. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel.
What is crafty counsel, Tony? So it says they have taken crafty counsel. What is that? Crafty counsel is, I'm about to flood the neighborhood with drugs so these niggas can go to jail. Crafty counsel is, I'm gonna put guns in the neighborhood so Crips and Bloods in the 80s can start killing each other at an alarming rate. Right? I'm about to introduce crack to New York to create a crack pandemic. That's crafty counsel. I'm going to put a corner store and a liquor store in every corner in the black neighborhood so these niggas can get cheap cigarettes, cheap beer, stay drunk, and stay dead in the mind.
Right.
As long as these Negroes don't know who they are and they stay drugged up and dumb, I'm going to give them a poor education system. As long as they dumb and drugged up, they are no
enemy, adversary.
They are no threat to us. You understand? As long as we can keep them weak and dumb, they are no threat to us.
No competition.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
It says, They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. These people right here, us, the black Israelites, are God's chosen people. Remember what we read. He said, if you keep my commandments, I'm going to place you above all nations of the earth. That's God's chosen people, but that's not where we at right now. Because like you said, we don't keep the commandments.
They have said, come and let us cut.
Read that part again. It says, and consulted against our hidden ones. The hidden ones is us because we don't know who we are. They have came up with these plots and they came together to plot against us. Read.
They have said, come and let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off
from being a nation.
That's why we so divided now. Right. It was the crafty counsels that they came up. Like what is it? Willie Lynch.
Right.
The Willie Lynch. That right there was a device to do what?
Let us cut them off from being a nation.
That was Willie Lynch, right? And that wasn't just in America. That letter was passed around in the Caribbean too. That divided us as a people. And what else happened?
That the name of Israel.
That the name of what?
Name of Israel. May be no more in remembrance.
That's why we call ourselves African American.
Right.
They gave us that names. And about 10, 15 years, our identity changed. You have Black Americans, African Americans, Afro Americans, Negro Americans, you know what I'm saying, niggas, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. Our nationality, our identity just keeps on changing. Why? Because they have taken crafty counsel against our people to take away our identity. To make sure that we did not know that we are the sons of the living God. And the reason for our conditions is because we just don't keep the commandments. If we stop breaking God's laws, everything would change for us. This is a spiritual war. This is a spiritual fight that we in right now. And we are literally under attack just because that building right there is open. Today is the Sabbath and they end up buying, selling, and cooking in there. So we are spiritually under attack. This whole society is against your way of life according to the Bible.
What club was that at?
That was admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
But the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again, 31.
Read.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
With one consent. All of these different nations, which is going to list. Read.
They are confederate against these.
So no matter, it says they are confederate against us. No matter what they going through with each other, right? You know, so you got the America, Russia, China, they all, you know what I'm saying, at odds. But it's, at the end of the day, that don't matter because at the end of the day, their job is to be against us. Read. Watch this, bro. What we're doing, I'm showing brother right here that we the children of Israel through the scriptures. Read. What's your name? Rashid, and we got Tony. Read.
Verse 6.
You a Muslim?
No, I ain't no Muslim.
Okay. Read.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom is the so-called white man, Rashid. And Tony, that's the so-called white man according to the Bible. When you read Genesis chapter 25, verse 25, it explains how the white man come into the planet. That is the white man. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites. That is the so-called Arab man. Read.
Of Moab.
Of Moab. That's the so-called Chinese man. And you, as it keeps going, it's going to list to you all the different nations in the world who know exactly who you are, who ironically we are we went or are in captivity to this day.
Right.
We were slaves to the Chinese. Who you think built the Great Wall of China? It was us. That's why you got images of black samurais. We was over there building brick. We were slaves to the Arabs right now. We are slaves to the Arabs right now. People getting sold in Saudi Arabia and Yemen right now.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We've been scattered to the four corners of the earth by disobedience. Drop that, go back to Deuteronomy 28. So going back to what I said, we were scattered to the four corners of the earth. That's why you see people that look like us everywhere we go, right? It's not that, like, let me clear this up. We're not African people, right? You're gonna see a lot of people that look like us in Africa, but they're not necessarily Israelites. Because there's a difference between, just like there's a difference between Chinese and Japanese people, there's a difference between us, which are Hebrews or Israelites or Jews, and African people. Read that. Give me 64. Yes, sir.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
The Lord said that he was going to scatter us. Where's it? Yeah, here you go. The Lord said he was going to scatter us among all people. This is how it happened, through the transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
And it started in 1492. But it started in 1492 with the so-called Hispanics. They were the first ones to go into slavery to us. What's going on, my brother?
I'm sharing that the Bible is our heritage.
Hey, look, hey, bro, what's your name?
Larry.
What's that?
Larry.
So we got Larry, Rashid, and we got Tony. Right now, what we're going over is history, right? We're not talking about no religion. We're talking about history and our identity. Read that again.
Verse 64.
So let me give you the context. Right here, which he already knows, the Bible said that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which according to the scriptures are Israelites, if these people, or I'm gonna say it like this, there's a people on the planet that if they do not obey God's commandments, that these things were gonna happen to them. I'm not gonna coerce you. I want to see if you understand what the Bible's putting down. All right, read that, verse 64.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
He said that the Lord was going to scatter thee among all people. That happened to us. I can't speak for no other nation. I can't speak for the white man, Chinese man, the African man, the East Indian man. I can't speak for them. But I know we was what?
Shall scatter thee among all people.
Bro, we was scattered to every corner of the earth. Right. That's what happened to us. Starting first with the so-called Hispanics and the so-called Native Americans. It started with them first in 1492, and we landed here in America in 1619 in I think it's Jamestown, Virginia.
Don't forget the sub-Saharan slave trade.
The sub-Saharan slave trade that happened up here. That's how we, like I was saying, we ended up in China. The Africans and Arabs sold us to the Chinese. You understand? That's how we ended up building the Great Wall of China. We were scattered through the four corners of the earth. Remember, like I told you earlier, because these people, these Israelites, did not keep God's commandments, right? Read on.
From the one end of the earth,
from the eastern hemisphere, read,
even unto the other,
to the western hemisphere. Here, read.
And there thou shalt serve.
Now this is the key. There, in these places that we were in our captivities, read.
Thou shalt serve other gods.
We was gonna serve gods that our forefathers didn't know nothing about.
Right.
Read.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Our fathers, they know nothing about no white Jesus.
Right.
That ain't in the Bible. That's not in the Bible. You cannot. I will give you $1 million in my life if you can prove that white image is in the Bible. Who gave it to us though? These people right here. Look, 1608, John Smith Baptist. Most people in the South were Baptists, right? John Smith, he gave us that in 1608, right? You got Joseph Smith, the Mormons. In their Bible, it says that being black is a curse.
That's right.
But our people follow after that, especially in Utah. Our people in you got black people in Utah who are big on being Mormons. That's like the Mormon capital of America, Utah.
Right.
You got this woman right here, Ellen G, the Adventist. We was in slavery. Charles T. Russell, Jehovah's Witness. We was in the, what was that, apartheid during that time. You got this dude right here, the Pentecostals.
Jim Crow.
Bro, we was going through all these atrocities during this time period where we got these images and those doctrines, and we still follow it today. We learned these things in oppression. We did not learn these things in love. We learned it in oppression. Right. This man right here, where is he at? Him. This dude right here. Wallace Ford Muhammad. We had learned Islam in America, in the Bronx of New York City, United States, from a white man named Wallace Ford Muhammad in the 1930s. Right. You understand? We didn't get none of this stuff from our God. None of that stuff came from the Bible. You can't find none of that stuff. How did we end up with it? Go back to read that again.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Read.
From the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
Read.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
We started serving other gods because we learned it from them. Read.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Our fathers didn't know about it because they was in the scriptures.
Right.
Right? Our forefathers knew who they were. Read. Right.
Even wood and stone.
What is that? It says even wood and stone. What is that? He's telling you the gods that our people would serve in our being scattered in captivity.
Right.
That wood is Christianity, right? That cross, the wooden cross. And what is the rock? What is the stone? The Kaaba stone.
You know?
Right? That's what is the so-called Muslims. They go out to Mecca to do their Hajj. They circle around this big Kaaba stone and they kiss it. That's worship. That's idol worship. Our forefathers didn't know nothing about that. Islam is a new religion in the planet. That came 622 years after Christ died.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And it was manufactured off of the ideology of the Bible.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Go give me Deuteronomy 28:6 there. You tell me who this happened to. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said the Lord was going to bring us into Egypt again. The word Egypt, the name Egypt is not a name, it's a word. It's commonly used as a name today. It's pronounced Egyptos. It's a Greek word, right? Which has the definition of what? What did it say? Go back to Deuteronomy. It means restraint, misery, distress, tribulation, and oppression. That is what in slavery. That is what Egypt means, right? Now let's get the biblical definition of what Egypt means. Read.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the land of Egypt. Out of the house of bondage. Out of the house of bondage. So what is God calling Egypt? Slavery. That's on point. Now go back to Deuteronomy 28. Y'all tell me. I'm not gonna convince you. Let the Bible convince you on who this is talking about. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Which is what? What does Egypt mean?
Slavery.
It means slavery. Read. Again, but this time how? With ships. Who did that happen to? Who did that happen to?
Black Israelites.
So if you can convince or you can prove that this happened to the so-called white man, if you can prove that this happened to the so-called Chinese man, if you can prove that this happened to the so-called Arab man, prove it. Can't nobody prove it because it's not possible because it never happened.
That's right.
It never happened. This happened only to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
That's right.
Read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
We are the only people on the face of the planet that has gone into slavery on slave ships. Millions of us. And 100 million of us died in the Middle Passage. That's historical facts. A lot of us that there's historical. The fact that we was dying on them slave ships, jumping off and getting our bodies thrown off, it changed the natural course of the ocean. The sharks started to follow the ships because they knew dead bodies was coming off. Right. You understand? Read.
Again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
I mean, this is not a metaphor, right? The way I'm telling it to you is the way it's gonna happen. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there,
right? In the land that we landed on them ships. Read.
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Bro, what happened to us? Where is that? Look, there you go, right there. It says, and ye shall be what?
Sold unto your enemies.
These are real advertisements. These are real advertisements. Negro for $1,200. It says to be sold. A cargo of 94 prime, what is that? Prime healthy Negroes. It says ye shall be sold. Read.
For bondmen,
for bond slave men,
and bond women,
and slave women. Read.
And no man shall buy you.
It ain't saying that wasn't nobody gonna purchase us. What it's saying is nobody was going to redeem us.
That's right.
Buy and redeem is the same thing. Meaning nobody was gonna save us from our condition. Who did that happen to? Who did that happen to? It happened to us. So what does that prove? What does that prove? Us having an understanding that these things happen to our people. What does that prove? Give me Deuteronomy 1:1. Say it again.
Because we didn't follow the commandments.
That's true. But what does it do for our identity? Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1.
This is what it proves.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Unto who?
All Israel.
So if these things happen to the children of Israel, because Moses prophesied it was going to happen, and we can look through these scriptures and look at our history and say that this happened to us, what does that prove? What does that prove?
Prove that we are the original Israelites.
It proves that we are the Israelites. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. That proves that we are the Israelites. And the only reason why we go through what we go through is because we don't keep the commandments. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
This is what God say about this people. Read.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
It says thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. He's talking to the Israelites. Read.
The Lord thy God have chosen thee.
He did what?
Chosen thee.
He chose us. Read.
To be a special people unto himself. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word